This is a follow-up to my previous video all about inflation rotation, buying a business or a stock. Just as I finished making it, one of my members asked this question, or he put this as an alternative point, said also, you don't have to play. Well, let's talk about that for a moment. Do you not have to play? You could sit out and do absolutely nothing. Don't buy any stocks, don't do anything. Well, let's discuss that right now. Consider this. During the making of this video, I also had another question. Someone saying, hey, hang on a minute. What if I sell a stock and I sell it? Will I pay taxes if I leave it in my brokerage account? Well, I've done a full video explaining that. Make sure you go and watch that. It's part of a 3-part series. There are 3 videos. Each of these I'll put at the end of the video. And now on with this video. I am not using margin. I am not investing. I'm sticking my money in the bank. That's a rubbish idea. Get less than 0.5% on my money. The reason why I get nothing from the bank is because the bank is a business. It used to be, years and years ago, it used to be a service many, many years ago. Businesses, banks are now businesses. They lend your money out 10 times. If you go to the bank and ask for your money back, if everyone did it, you wouldn't get it. There'd be a bank run. They couldn't pay you. Banks don't even have any money, right? So let's not leave our money in the bank. That's pointless. Earning 0.5% a year would be bonkers. So let's forget banks. They've got too many bills. They're making too much money for themselves. We don't want to do that. We want to go where we can make money for ourselves. After all, it's our money. It's not the banks. So let's scrub the banks. Okay, where do we go now? Well, we could put our money in all kinds of different bonds and savings and so on and so forth, but there is an element of risk to those. You've got to hold those for a long time. And what will happen with the rates in the future? Nobody knows. So I don't like uncertainty either. So scrub that idea. We could gamble it. We could go down the local casino. That doesn't suit me either. I don't like gambling, unpredictability, and most people lose. I'd rather own the casino. Hang on a minute. Are we talking about owning something? Yep. Well, do you mean options? Do you mean taking risks? Nope. I mean actually owning something. Hang on a minute. So what are we going to do? Let's put our money, for example, in a brokerage that pays us a decent amount of interest, backed by FDIC, insured, guaranteed, and all the rest of it. Can't go anywhere. All right, I like that. Let's put my money then in Robinhood and let me earn myself, I think it's currently 5.25%. Oh, I like that. 5.25%. Insured, no risk. I like that option. My money is just going to sit there. But hang on a minute. Inflation's a couple of percent and maybe it's a bit more, blah, blah, blah. Well, hang on a minute. Does that mean I'm only making 3? Yeah, it does. And don't forget, you've got to pay tax on those gains because they are gains. That interest is gains. Okay, I've got to pay a bit of interest on that. So the interest is not as attractive as it first appears, but it's better than nothing. It's better than putting it in the bank, and it's certainly better than going down the local casino. So let's assume that we choose the option of just putting our money in a brokerage and earning a few percent a year. Okay, well, you could argue, why not put your money in the S&P and do absolutely nothing? Don't trade, just leave it there. It makes on average 10 to 13% a year. For me, it's a no-brainer. For me, sitting on the sidelines, waiting for something to happen is a silly idea. In fact, I would say it's rubbish. For me, I want to put the fate of my money in my hands. Putting it in the bank and hoping something's going to happen is ridiculous. The bank is never going to give you a bonus for putting it in the bank. Scrub that one. Sticking it in the a brokerage and earning interest when you finally calculate the tax and the gains and at the end of the day and inflation built in, does it make you that much money? Well, it makes you some money, but why not just be fully invested? People say to me, yeah, but if you're fully invested, where's your cash going to come from? What do you do if you need some money? Well, assuming you don't earn any money, which is you shouldn't be investing if you don't earn any money. But assume I earn 0. I earn no money whatsoever. I've got no money coming in at all. So all my money's invested. So what am I going to do now? Smart ass, your money's not in the bank. You've got no money. Everybody keeps telling you that you have to have money in the bank. You have to have 6 months worth of money. Everybody tells you that. That's the route to wealth. Have 6 months money sat in the bank earning nothing. What's the point of that? What about if it's in the stock market? Yeah, but it goes down. If it goes down, you've got no money. Then you've got to sell for a loss. Hang on a minute. No, it doesn't. There's a thing called the FIFO rule. First in, first out. So I bought the S&P, for example, 6 months ago. The stocks that I bought 6 months ago are all up 20, 30% at the moment. Assuming we're not going to get a 30% crash on the stock market, I think it's fair to say we're not. Some people will say, oh, yes, we will. The stock market is going to go down 80%. Well, it's never done that in the history of the world. But anyway, whatever. Let's assume that you're right. In fact, let's not assume you're right because that makes no sense. Let's not assume you're right at all, right? I've got 30%. So let's assume right now I need some money. Things aren't going well for me. I'm not earning any money on YouTube. I haven't got any money in the bank. I'm an idiot. I'm fully invested. Damn it. I should have kept my money on the sideline, sitting there doing nothing, because now I can pay for stuff that I need to buy. Hang on a minute. It's gone up inflation since I wanted to buy it, so my money's got less. Okay. No, I didn't do that. What I did was buy at the stock market. I bought the S&P. I'm up 30% on the stocks that I'm about to sell to give me some profit. So let's assume now I need some money. I'm earning no money and I need to get some money out. So I sell a couple of shares of the S&P. Right now, that would give me about $1,000. Thank you very much, $1,000, which is 30% more than I had 6 months ago, thereabouts, on my S&P. That's what I had. Okay, so I've made some money. Yes, I'll pay some tax on that, but I've had it now for 6 months. If I wait just another 6 months and get past the first year, my tax will come down considerably. But even if I pay the maximum amount of tax, I've still made more money on those shares compared to if I'd left it in the bank or even if I was earning interest. So my answer to you is, and Warren Buffett is absolutely right, you do not wait for a pullback. You do not wait for a dip. Having your money in the bank is stupid. I'm sorry if that sounds strong, but it is. It's stupid. People who say I've got my money in the bank is stupid. Absolutely stupid. If you've got no income for the next 6 to 12 months, then you need some money in the bank. All right. But if you're like me, you started with a small amount of money and you've invested and you've kept going, you kept going, and you built up a portfolio and you've got stocks in the past that you bought lower, much lower than they are today, you're very, very, very unlikely, in fact, virtually impossible that it's going to run down to less than the value of those. But let's assume it did go all the way down to those levels and you made zero on those. You still got your money back, whereas in the bank, you didn't get sod all. If you were lucky, you earned 0.5%, which is less than inflation, so you've actually lost money. So my argument to you is, if you do the full calculation, if you look at the full story from A to Z, not just A to B, you don't play chess, you don't play checkers, you play chess. You look at it, it always makes sense to be fully invested in good businesses. I wouldn't say be fully invested in FFIE or GameStop. That would probably be a bad idea. But if you've bought the American economy and you own the businesses and you hold, even if you need the money, you're going to have more money than if you had it in the bank or if you'd had it in a high-end interest account. Simple as that. It always, this is not an opinion, this is a fact. It always pays to remain in. So the question was from Smoky Fats, also, you don't have to play. I don't play. This is very, very serious business, even though I laugh and joke about it. That's why I've done my numbers. When I was at college and school, I went all the way in maths and all the rest of it. I understand numbers. That's what I do, even though my main living is an entertainer. I understand numbers very, very well. And for me, it's a no-brainer. It makes no sense sitting out on the sidelines watching. Because remember, at some point, the markets are going to go up again. And you're going to be chasing and trying to finding an entry point. I won't. I'll already be in. It never makes sense to sit on the sidelines. Always makes sense to stay invested. What do you think? Click above my head. Down below in the description, go and check out my previous video I've just made called Inflation Rotation, Buy a Business or a Stock. And I explain the other side of the argument. Rather than being out, what do you buy? Should you buy a stock or a business? That will be here and down below in the description and pinned to the top of the comments. Go and check out that video. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.